Okay, after setting up the password, now we have to proceed to form virtual LANs. So we just like till now we just have given the names, like we'll be following like forming the virtual LANs, but till now like we have not formed any virtual LAN. Like if I click on switch 1 and if I exit from here and in the privilege mode, if I fire the command called show VLAN brief, so you will see that there is nothing, no VLAN has been formed till now. Okay, no, there is no. So for that, now let me show you the command. Now we will be forming 3 virtual LANs here, VLANs here. Okay, naming it like 10, 5 and 15. 15 you will understand, we'll use it for the later purpose, but 10 you all know, like C2, C3 and D4 will belongs to virtual LAN 10, and C4, D1, D2, D3 will belongs to virtual LAN 5. So now the command we have to fire in all the switches, including switch like central switch, SW1, 2, A and B. In all the switches you have to fire this command. So have a look. Get yourself into config mode, conft, okay, and write the command. It's very simple command. Write VLAN 5. Okay, so you are in now configuration virtual LAN mode. Exit again. Okay, we just have in like instantiated. Okay, we want to have a virtual LAN named 5. One more time, VLAN 15, and then again exit, and then VLAN 10, and then again exit. Okay, again let me exit from here also, and let me fire the same command that was show VLAN brief. Now you will see here virtual LAN have been instantiated and they are active now. Status is active. Okay, and there are no ports currently belongs to this virtual LAN because we have to assign later on like which particular PC or which particular interface will belongs to which particular virtual LAN. We'll do that part later on, but just for now you have to fire this command in all the switches including the central. So let me go ahead again one more time. I'm going on switch number 2 here, SW2. Let me exit from here and let me show you once again show VLAN brief, and you will be able to see nothing. So let me get myself into configuration mode and type VLAN 5 exit. My bad, wait, configuration mode VLAN 5 exit, then VLAN 10, and then again exit, and then VLAN 15, and then again exit. In the privilege mode, fire the same command show VLAN brief, and you will see. So do the same thing for all the switches including the central one like this. So now it is asking me the password which we have set before. Okay, so this is the password was conpa55. Enter. I will enable it. Again it will ask me the password, so that was enpa55. Enter. So configuration terminal mode, and VLAN 5 enter, exit, VLAN 10 exit, and one more time VLAN 15 exit. Okay, again one more time exit, and fire the command show VLAN brief, and you will see 3 virtual LANs are now active. So do the same for SWB and central also. So this VLAN command we have to fire on all the 5 switches here. Okay, after setting up the virtual LANs, means after instantiating it, now we have to designate the devices into all those LANs. So how to do that? Like as we have just mentioned here, C2 and C3 will belongs to virtual LAN 10. So I'll just place the mouse and just have a look over the interface, okay, through which interface they are connected. And that's very important because you have to mention it in the command. So from the switch it is FA02 for C2, and for the C3 it is FA03, and I've just kept it in a sequential manner, 02, 03, 04. Similarly here also, if I place the mouse, it is like 01, it is coming from the switch, 02 for D2, 03 for D3, and 04 for D4. Okay, so now the command is very simple here. You have to go to the switch A. Okay, you are already in configuration mode. So now we just have to mention, we have to make them belong to that virtual LAN what we have just created, and you can still see that there is no devices belongs to that virtual LAN here, 5, 10, no devices mentioned here. So let me mention it here first, and we'll again fire the command show VLAN brief, and you will see the changes. So let me configure the interface FA0/2. Okay, so we are in configuration interface mode. Command is simple, the switch port mode access we have to set, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, you all can see here, because we want C2 to belongs VLAN 10. So for that, this interface we are setting it up to FA02 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10, and done. Okay, there was a print mistake in the spelling, access double C, and then enter. Okay, done, and then exit. We are done with configuring this interface FA02. Now the next interface is FA03 for the C3. So again type int FA0/3, enter. Can we have those command again? Yes. So we have switch port mode access, enter, and then switch port access VLAN 10, because C3 also goes in virtual LAN 10, okay, enter, and then again exit. Now interface, the last interface is FA0/4 for C4. Okay, enter the command switch port mode access, enter, and now VLAN 5. Okay, as we have mentioned here, you all can see. Okay, 5, and then enter, and then exit. Get yourself into privilege mode, and then type show VLAN brief, and you will see the listing here now. So in virtual LAN 5 we can see that this interface is active, this port is active, and for VLAN 10 this two ports, like these two machines C2 and C3 belongs to those, that VLAN 10. Okay, now we'll continue with this part on switch B, same. So again you all can quickly revise, have a look, go to switch B, no entries are there, get yourself into configuration mode and type. We'll go in a sequential manner, it is very easy. So while configuring, remember, like you make sure that FA01 goes to D1, FA02 goes to D2, FA03 goes to D3, and FA04 goes to D4. And have a look, like D1, D2, D3 belongs to virtual LAN 5 and D4 belongs to virtual LAN 10. So I'll simply go ahead and type the command quickly, like FA/0/1. Okay, we are in configuration interface mode. So the command was switch port mode access, enter, and then switch port access VLAN. Now this time it will be 5. Okay, and then click enter, then exit. Now we'll go with FA0/2 second interface, same command, we can have it, switch port mode access, and then done, exit. Now interface FA0/3, VLAN 5 exit. Okay, and the last one, interface FA 0/4 enter, then switch port mode access, and now the VLAN number will be 10. Okay, as we have mentioned here, D4 belongs to VLAN 10. Okay, and then enter and then exit. And if you exit from configuration mode also and fire the same command, show VLAN brief, you will be able to see, yeah, so FA010203 belongs to virtual LAN 5 and FA04 belongs to virtual LAN 10. Okay, moving on. Now we'll set up the trunk here. Basically, VLAN trunking enables the movement of the traffic. Basically, we all can see that here the links are shared and we are forming the virtual LAN here. And a trunk is nothing but a point-to-point link between two network devices carrying more than one LAN. So we'll be forming a virtual LAN between all the switches. Okay, that will be VLAN 15, and we are enabling the trunking here. Basically, means all the frames will get tagged here and they will be treated in a different way. And because the links have been shared, so of course all the virtual LANs has to share the same physical medium. So for that, now we have to perform the steps. So now we have to go to switch A and type the password here. For that, like it is console password was CONPA55, enable password was ENPA55. So we are here in the privilege mode. Now let's get into configuration mode. We have to configure the interface. Now let me show you like which interface we are configuring here. So we are on switch A. If you place the mouse here, so you saw purposely what we did, we just have connected the last port of every switch to one another. Like switch A to switch 1 is connected through FA024, so that we can easily remember it. Similarly on this side also, if you can see, if I place the mouse, so we have to configure this interfaces only. So let me configure this 4 interface first in front of you, and then we'll go ahead configuring all this 2 interfaces also, and then we'll come to the central switch also. So I'm on switch A, so I have to configure FA0/24 enter, then switch port mode trunk. This is a command. Okay, it will take time to load. It is done actually. Coming back here, now one more command we have to fire here, like switch port trunk native VLAN 15 enter, done. So these are the 2 commands we have to fire on each of these interfaces. Okay, so now we are done with the switch A. So now let me just copy it, okay, so that we can use it. So what I'll do, I'll just note it down here on the notepad in front of you. So what are the steps, so that it will not take time. So the command was like switch port mode trunk and switch port trunk native VLAN 15. So we have to fire these 2 commands on all the interfaces here, not all the interfaces, like the interfaces of the switches. So let me copy this. Okay, so now let me close this. We are done with this. We will go to the switch B now. It is also, we have here interfaces FA024. So let's go there. Okay, type the password CONPA55. Password is wrong. Okay, here we are. Enable it, ENPA55. So get yourself into configuration mode, and then interface is same FA0/24 enter, and then click on paste. So both the commands have got fired here. Okay, so we are done here. Now close here. Let's come to switch number 1 now. This is the same interface. Let's go to switch 1. It is asking me the password conpa 55, enable enpa 55, then configuration mode, and the interface is fa0/24. Enter, and then paste those two commands and enter. Okay, one more time, actually one more time, because switch 1 is also connected to central switch through this interface, and that interface is nothing but, let me place the mouse so we'll come to know. If I place the mouse, so it is gig01. So we have to fire the same command on that interface too. So let me change the interface now. We were already in configuration interface mode. Now the interface will become G0/1. If I'm not mistaken, let me verify once again. It is gig01. Yes, it is gig01, and then enter, and then paste those two commands and done. Okay, same thing we have to do on switch 2 now. So let's go to switch 2. Asking password conpa 55, enable it enpa 55 password, and then configuration mode, interface fa0/24. Enter, and then paste those two commands. Done. And then one more time exit from here, because even switch 2 is also connected to central switch via the interface. We can place a mouse and we come to know, yeah, gig it is same interface, gig0/1. So we'll change the interface to int g0/1. Enter, and those two commands, paste it. So we all can see it has fired. Great, close it. Now we'll come to the central here. Okay, same thing here we have to do, and the interfaces on both the side were like gig01 here on this left side, and on the right hand side it was 02. So we have to fire for both the interfaces, and also the one more interfaces we have got on the upper side, you all can see, that is fa01. So now I'm on central switch. I'm already in privilege mode. Let me get into configuration mode. So now I'll like fire the command for gig interfaces like all together, having like mentioning the range, so that I'm going with gig 0/1 to 2, something like this. So we are firing those command for both the interfaces. Enter. So we are configuring interface range and the same command, then paste it. Okay, and then enter, and we are done. Okay, now we have to again exit from this mode. Now we have to change the interface to fa01, the interface through which central switch is connected to the router towards north. So click enter, and the same, paste it, and we are done. So we are done setting up the trunking part here on all the switches, setting up virtual LAN number 15. Okay, after setting up the trunking part, you can go to central switch now, and you can verify, you can exit from here and be in privilege mode and fire, like show the interfaces of trunk. So now you will see the output. Okay, like this, you should be able to see like this. Fine. Now moving on. So we're done with like configuring all the switches. Now we'll jump to the router R1. Okay, so like we have to go on R1 now, and we have to here configure something called 802.1q. That is something often referred as .1q, which is a networking standard that actually supports the VLAN, virtual LAN, and this standard 802.1q standard actually defines like how the system of VLAN tagging will work of for Ethernet frames, and associated, or you can say accompanying procedures will be executed by the bridges and switches to handle such frames. So we have to enable those service like that protocol here on the router R1. So for that we'll jump to the router. We are here already in the enable mode. No, not we are not in enable mode. So we have to enter the password PA55. We are in privilege mode now, and then get yourself in configuration mode, conft, and then we have to configure the interfaces. Okay, so let me mention the interface, and this is what we are configuring. We are configuring actually sub interfaces. So gig 0/0.1. okay, so we are configuring gig 0/0.1 on this router. So if we click mouse here, if I place the mouse here, yeah, so you all can see that we have got the gigabit interface here 00, but we are trying to configure here sub interface. So within that interface we are configuring the sub interface. Okay, sub why? Because dedicatedly will be associating that those sub interfaces to different LAN for 5, for 10, for 15. Okay, so we are like kind of dividing it, the interface among the different virtual LANs. So coming back to here, so gig 0.1 and then enter. We are in configuration sub interface mode, and type the command encapsulation .1q. If you Google, you will come to know what it is. That it is a 802.1q protocol. .1q 5, the number of VLAN. Okay, here, and then enter. We can set the IP address to. So IP address for that interface will be 192.168.5.100. I hope you all will recollect now. That was the interface was given, like this is the IP address was given as a default gateway to the devices of virtual LAN number 5. Okay, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0, and then enter and then exit. Okay, so we are done configuring one of the sub interface. Similarly, now we have to do it for one more sub interface for the virtual LAN number 10. Okay, so we can go ahead like this, gig 0g0/0.2, enter, and then we can have the command called encapsulation.1q10 this time, and then enter, and the IP address you all know. We can have, we had already had 5.100, now we will have 10.100, which was again the default gateway was given to C2, C3 and D4. Okay, then click enter and then exit. One more virtual LAN is remaining, so for that again we have to go with gigabit G0/0.15, something like this, and we can have IP address now. This will become right 15.100, and then enter. Okay, what is the error? Configure IP routing on the LAN sub interface is only allowed if that sub interface is already configured as a part of an IEEE 802.10. Okay, yeah, wait a second, basically I forgot one more command here, encapsulation.1q. so I guess after mentioning the interface, so let me do it once again for you all. So let me exit from here. I'll again write like I have to configure the interface gig 0/0.1, 0.15. After that, I have to say encapsulation dot 1q 15 and then enter, and then mentioning the IP address 15.100 to 55.255.255.0 and then click enter. So we are done with the router part also, and we have configured the interface here. Okay, so we are done with the configuration part. Now we'll jump to the main practical part. So far what we have done, we have just set up the whole configuration and topology thing. We have set up the virtual LANs and make all the devices part of the virtual LAN so far. So now we'll start with the practical, and the first part in the practical is like verify the connectivity. So we have to verify the connectivity between the C2, that is this device on virtual LAN 10, and C3, which is belongs to same virtual LAN 10, that is C3. If you don't remember the IP address, you can simply go ahead and click on device and then check the IP configuration. So this was 10.1 C2 and C3 was 10.2. Both of this device belongs to same virtual LAN. So let's try to ping and see whether the connectivity is there or not. So let's go to C2 and go to command prompt, and let's try to ping 192.168.10.2. okay, so C2 device is 1, IP address is 1 for that, and C3 is 10.2. let's try to ping and let's see whether we get the reply. So you all can see we are getting the reply here successfully, so connectivity is okay. And one more thing we have to check the connectivity is like between C2 to D1. okay, D1 belongs to different virtual LAN, and let's see the connectivity is there or not. But let me see what was the IP address. You can simply go ahead, let's minimize this, go to D1, that belongs to VLAN 5, and if you go to IP configuration, that the IP address is 5.2. actually 5.1 was given to C4, after that this was 5.2. so I'll try to ping from C2 to D1, that is 5.2. so let me go to C2 once again, command prompt, and let me try to ping. Let me write the command ping 192.168.5.2. so we are trying to ping that machine from this machine, and we are getting the reply, you all can see. okay, so this was the first part. We just have verified the connectivity between the C2, C3 and C2 and D1. okay, now we have to switch to part 2 now. Like we have to create a redundant link between switch 1 and switch 2, which is here. okay, so let's see what steps they have given. The step number 1 is using a crossover cable, try to connect it through the port F023, because 024 was already occupied on both the switches, so we have to connect this switches, okay, with the one more crossover cable, a redundant one. So let me see what we can do here. So let's go to the connection and place the mouse. You will see, yeah, this is copper crossover. Select it and click on switch 1 and select the interface called FA023. this is the last one. okay, and here also same. okay, so the connection has been established now. So now what we have to do, we have to configure it. So now we have to enable the trunking, including all the trunk security mechanism on the link between switch 1 and switch 2. So basically trunking has already been configured, we all have just saw before, right, and configured on all the pre-existing trunk interfaces. So the new link again must be configured, which we just have established, including all the trunk security mechanism on both switch 1 and switch 2. So set the port to trunk and assign native VLAN 15 here to the trunk port and disable the auto negotiation. So for that we have got this commands. So let's see, we'll fire one by one. So first we have to configure the interface FA023, then switch port mode trunk. okay, let me go to switch 1 here, let me be here on the CLI, and then enter. It is asking for the password, so conpa55 enter, then enable password enpa55. get yourself into configuration mode, conft. Now we'll fire the command. The first thing we have to just select the interface int fa0/23 enter. So we are in configuration interface mode. Now the next command is switch port mode trunk. I'll just copy this, I'll come here, paste it, enter. Okay, then again enter. The next command is switchport trunk native VLAN 15. Copy it, again coming here, clicking on it, paste it and enter. And then switchport no negotiate. So we can write this command, switchport no negotiate, enter. And finally there was a spelling mistake here, so let me correct it. No negotiate, switchport P was missing here. Yeah, P, then enter, and then finally no shut. Okay, done. Now one more time we have to do this for switch number 2. So let me close this switch 1 and I'll select the switch 2 now. Switch number 2 here it is. Let me keep it here, enter and type the password CONPA55, enter. One more time, CONPA55, enter. Then enable it, the enable password ENPA55, enter. Get yourself into configuration mode here, configuration terminal. Interface you have to select, that is FA0/23. Now let me copy the commands. Okay, so switchport mode trunk, that's the first command, paste it, enter. Then second command was switchport trunk native VLAN 15. Same virtual LAN we are giving here, paste it, enter. And then switchport no negotiate will come here, paste it again, and finally no shut. So we are done with the step number 1 and step number 2, which was a part of part 2.
That's all guys from this video. If you really like this video, press like button and do subscribe to our channel. If any queries or suggestions, do comment below. For more such updates, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.